Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a new market update. As you know, my name is Michael. Yesterday, I've done a live stream, but only for 30 minutes, as I had to quit it to be on the national TV discussing Bitcoin. So many cool messages from everyone, so I think I did a pretty decent job. At least pretty hectic day, short night. But we are back with a new market update, and before we continue, I would like to ask you to subscribe, which you can do beneath here. What are we going to discuss? We're going to discuss Bitcoin, and we've been doing that on the TV show last night as well, in which Elon Musk is the central point of discussion. And there was a good question beforehand. One of the presenters of the show asked me, are you going to cash out at this point, or when are you going to cash out? And I said, well, I'm not going to cash out if Elon Musk stepping in just now. And it's not about cashing out, it's about keeping your money or your purchasing power over time. And that is the critical point of Bitcoin. It's great that the price is moving up, but in the end, it's about keeping your purchasing power. So, what's happening on the Bitcoin markets right now? Pretty decent move. We have discussed this a little in the live stream last night. We had this range bound construction in which we have the range high around 40 to 42k. We have the range low at 30, which had received some tests, as you can see. And based on this corrective move, we can use the Fibonacci extension to derive a new target zone, right? So we can derive the new level of interest, which is around 50k, and we are getting there. If 50k breaks, we are looking at 63k, but that's just not the case right now. So what we are looking at right now is that we are looking at this range-bound construction in which we see that we have been testing this 30k level for support, which held, nice bullish divergence as well, rejection due to Elon Musk, another higher low, and continuation of the trend after this support resistance flip at 37. Then the critical level was this 40.5 to 42.5k level, and we broke through. So we did see this breakout that was also caused by Elon Musk, by the way. And then when you get such a rally above the previous range resistance, is that you want to keep it as support to continue the trend. And that's what we're seeing here, as we see on the lower time frames that we consolidate and continue the rally. So when we continue the rally, you want to see this level become support, and we've done that. And now we are chopping around 50k. Not really much to say about where we are heading, but we do know which level is critical to watch at this point, through which we can say, okay, we do need to hold this gray box here for support if we want to avoid dropping back down in the range. So if we lose this 43k zone, we are most likely dropping back down in the range. And given that we have those big gaps here, the first level that we're going to drop to is this 37k zone. So the only critical level to watch is this block that we have here. If that is lost, I think the entire market will have a significant correction south, in which we are heading towards the level around 37. That's where I'm going to look at for potential buys, but then most likely we get something like this before we start to continue again. And if you go back in history, you can see that those price actions also happened during the halving period or after the halving period, and then this entire breakout becomes a fake out. But in the bullish case, if we hold 43k and start grinding up, you know that the next target zone is around 60 to 63k. Also depending on how the prices are going to develop on the dollar the coming weeks. Then, as requested, and I wanted to do the Eagle chart yesterday, but I didn't, as I had to quit the live stream. Eagle is one of those coins that has been doing really well. And when something goes vertical, the social media engagement is blowing up, sentiment is blowing up, but you should be avoiding to enter some coin or asset randomly without deriving any entry points or without being able to deduct a plan. So if you're looking for investments on Eagle, it's a little too risky to enter at this stage, as it just pulled a 100x or even 200x since the low. So you're looking at a further corrective move, a further extended corrective move. So you see the price of Eagle bottoming out, and then you start scaling in. So what we see on the 4-hour time frame, or at least the 1-hour time frame, is that we can use previous price action to manage or get entry points, right? So what we see here is that the trend is significantly upwards. Every previous level of resistance becomes support, and here we start failing through and we drop south below the previous support, which is around 190. So then you're going to look at the next level, which is this area here, around 160. We get a bounce. However, this previous support around 190 is not granting support as we flip it back to resistance and the downtrend continues. And then, and I'll just erase it this quickly as that's the scenario that I have. And then the trend is lower lows, lower highs. So we're currently in a downtrend. After this rejection at 185, the next level to watch for potential entries is this previous high. We bounced on it, or this entire zone is something to look at. If that is lost, you're going to look at this area. But during this entire run, defining levels to start entering e-gold are based on these zones here. You're not going to look at any other level at all, but we're getting into zones that you might become interested. So what is the next step for e-gold to happen in this case is that we are seeing a current resistance area around $180. What's next for Elrond is that if it breaks this level, we can start seeing another impulse wave, and we're likely going to see a new all-time high for e-gold. If this is not going to break, just like we see in historical price action here, we most likely start falling through, and then we're going to search for support on lower levels. So then you're looking at these two zones, or maybe even $100, which is still a very, very healthy correction for e-gold. What you want to see on a Bitcoin pair is similar. I've been using this chart a lot previously, as we see that we've just rallied through and made a new impulse wave. And as you can see in historical price action, those impulse waves end in a larger correction, after which we continue again. So this example shows why you should not be chasing trades, but you should be able to just be patiently waiting for new entries to come. So this area around 2500 sets, but also the range around 1800 to 2100 is something to look at. If you look at the 1-hour time frame, you can see that we also have a lower low, lower high construction here. This is the current resistance zone. If that fails, we most likely get a further corrective move, and then we get into entry points on Elrond. Tomorrow I'll be diving more into Elrond as well, but I hope you have enjoyed this small video. I'm heading to the office now to make more content for you. Please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you again tomorrow.